What's the weather like out there? Is there fires and shit, or is it?
No, but it's just not sunny.
Yeah, it's hazy over here too. It was blazing hot like 2 days ago, and then it just got freezing yesterday. So that adds to the whole like I don't know. It's just weird. It's like abrupt, you know?
Yeah, we've had a couple of like we had a couple of like really good days where it's nice and beautiful and sunny, hit like 78, you know what I'm saying, degrees. And
Perfect.
then the next day is like cloud cover and gray and I know they call it May gray and we got June gloom to get through. I get it, but
They have something out here that it's an I don't know, it's like an entity, I guess, named Carl. They call it Carl, and it's like this fog cover that comes over San Francisco. It's like you can see it. It's like a wall. They're like Carl's here. I don't know. Carl. I don't know what it stands for. It's weird.
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I got some sort of Diddy adjacent stuff to talk about today. So it's not like we're gonna catch up on the trial or anything. Actually, I haven't caught up on the trial. I don't even know what's going on with that,
I
to
heard
be
one
honest with
strange
you.
thing about the trial.
What's
We
that?
it was Rotten Mango, who's a great creator. I told you about her. She's at the trial. She said that there were two audience members that came in and they very clearly threw up the Illuminati symbol, or I immediately thought Rock Nation,
Mhm.
but that would even be weird. And then Diddy looked over at them, saw them, and said, like, thank you. And that was weird.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's
So weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well, the first thing that I was going to talk that I wanted to show you was
So
um
this is the new.
about Steve Harvey and his thing for baby oil. Did you know about this?
I heard something like people were like they're going in on Steve Harvey's page. You got to go see his page or something, something, something. But I didn't.
I didn't know he was like this about baby oil.
So this is the new story going around. I tried to look for the source because I was like, man, this is a bullshit again. But I found this video, which is really questionable. So check it out.
Everybody say baby oil. My hidden talents really can't be discussed on national television because it involves excessive amounts of baby oil, low lights, and moaning. You gotta be a baby oil professional. Now, most people don't have a microwave in their bedroom. I've installed one because I need hot baby oil at hand. Here's a couple of low budget ways to accomplish it. Run a sink full of hot water and just lay that bottle of baby oil in there for about 15 minutes. Turn it and let it heat up like that. Here's another way to apply warm baby oil. Take a washcloth, run it under the hot water till you can't stand it no more. Then wring it out. Then saturate the washcloth with the baby oil. Then take the hot washcloth over there to the bed. Then as you need it, wring it a little bit and go to work.
So this is the new story going around. I tried to look for the source because I was like, man,
That's pretty nasty. He's that's pretty.
Well, he got a thing for baby oil.
I see.
I
Baby oil is
never heard more about baby oil in this last 6 months.
right. I wonder if the baby oil sales have gone up.
I mean, I used to use it when I got out of the shower,
Me
instead of
too. Yeah.
lotion. I
Yeah.
just use baby oil.
Not anymore.
Yeah, it was making everything oily a little bit, so I was like, okay, well, maybe that's a.
Yeah, you can use like apricot oil or something else, even castor oil, but baby oil, I'm done with that.
You're done with it?
Yeah. I don't think okay, so it like I
It's
would
just
like to
interesting with his connection to Diddy. His
right,
daughter was
exactly.
dating Diddy's son, and then switched and started dating Diddy.
And then
And the stories behind the scenes is that Steve Harvey will do anything he can to be in this mix,
mhm,
but he's not in the mix because he's a little too uh, I don't want to say Southern, but just too country.
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he
Don't
can't
know how
make it
to
into the
talk in front of white
club.
folks too good.
Yeah, he can't talk right and everything like that. Who was saying that? That was Katt Williams, right? That was Katt Williams
Yes, it was.
talking
He
about
did a
Steve Harvey.
great
Yeah. So
impression. Don't tell anybody.
Everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have a range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore the way you. I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie.
So I mean that's the story.
Yeah.
And so the reason that him with all that baby oil is interesting because, you know, it sort of plays into that narrative.
Yeah. And I gotta say, like, shout out to the internet sleuths who find all the clips and put them together and shit. Like, that's so good. They're like, oh, I remember. I know he said something about baby oil, and they find it.
I know, right? Where was that? Yeah, well, that's us too, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All of us.
Yeah, I don't
Damn,
know.
Steve. I don't know.
What do you think? Got you giving Steve Harvey the side eye?
Regardless, it didn't age well at all, and it makes me think that there could be something to that. Maybe it's like a dog whistle to Diddy. Like maybe he's
right?
Like he's like,
I like baby oil.
please let me in.
Oh, you like baby oil? I like baby oil too.
Me too. I'm gonna say it on my show. Maybe he'll watch.
Right. That's kind of how it feels like to me too. Like, you know, trying to get some attention or something, you know. But bro said he installed a microwave in the bedroom for the baby oil. That's a lot. That's
yeah, let's not, you know, infect the body with microwave radiation just because you like baby oil that much. Like, let's not go so hard. Like,
I mean, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the microwave in the bedroom. It's just a little extra.
That's so extra. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going really hard for some shit.
Right. You know, and you know when you're so ahead of the game that you're like, whoa, your cat behind you is climbing up the door.
God, I know they're little baby monsters.
He's hafway up. Look,
yeah, I know. What? And then there goes the other one.
That's a lot more interesting than Diddy.
Well, yeah, apparently, I mean, I saw this video of a kitten falling asleep, and I looked, and it had 11.8 million views. And I was like, I have so many videos like that. Hashtag kittens, brow.
Do it. All right, so moving on to some more sort of Diddy adjacent type things.
Okay.
Kevin Hart. You did so much to get to where you are in your career just to most likely watch the shit crash and burn. If y'all didn't know already, Kevin Hart just closed down all 4 of his locations to his food restaurant called Hart House. That's not by coincidence. Y'all know he was attending them Diddy parties, right? Not just one time, I'm talking about multiple times. He loved it there. Y'all can even search on the web one of the footages from when Kevin Hart was there doing live commentary. Had girls in bikinis and shit, ain't no problem with that. But it's the shit that happened in that video before they cut it. Y'all go look it up. Kevin Hart's wife is considering divorcing this man because allegedly she got footage from one of the Diddy parties that Kevin Hart attended, and she did not like what she seen, bruh. I'm talking about it was some crazy shit. So then more recently, he did an interview where he was talking about why him and Katt Williams had beef, and he said it was over Tiffany Haddish or some shit like that. But no, that's not the case. You know why y'all had beef. You did what they wanted Katt Williams to do. I'm gonna keep y'all updated on this situation. Hit that follow button. Share this, like this. It's getting spooky.
Yeah, it's a trip. I wanted to look up while he was talking. I wanted to look up Kevin Hart's wife because what Katt Williams was saying, you know, about they all have the light skinned, tall, questionable, you know, wife. Remember on Shay Shay?
Oh yeah, the light skinned.
Yeah. So I just.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light skin, weird face wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man, come on.
Listen, in 20 years won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Shoot, it's on you, bitch. No.
Wow. Interesting stuff there. Okay.
It all.
Now, it's kind of funny though. If you listen to what's going on in the court so far, it sounds like freak offs were like 3 people,
Huh.
right? It sounds like it was Diddy jerking off in the corner
Besides,
and
yeah,
Cassie
sex
getting banged by
worker,
some
right.
prostitute, right? You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm not
far,
hearing a lot of stories about a lot of people doing a lot of things. Is all I'm saying.
yeah. You know what?
That
This
does
is
not mean, look, that does not, because I tend to think that that this trial is a bit of a cover up personally. So, it's not to say that that's not happening or whatever, but what is coming out is not very freaky, these freak offs.
not only is it not freaky, the freak offs, it's not illegal. Most of the stuff isn't illegal,
Right.
it's consensual, which is
Well, I don't
convenient.
know if it was consensual because I think that's part of what they're arguing, that they were coerced, but I will, that
Cassie
is
and
part of the
I
case.
don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a pretty, to me, that's a weak case. But what's funny is that you'll hear shit like on the side, you'll hear stuff like the Gloria Estefan and the tunnels and the guy, the gay boy who was saying that he was drugged and then led through the tunnels and he saw Beyonce, and like there's like little stuff that'll come out in TMZ and then it'll just miss the court somehow. So I think that this is just an opinion, but I think that people
What do you
were
mean it'll miss the court somehow?
like that. You don't hear about that in the court dates, those big wild freak off parties with tunnels and, tons of celebrities and stuff like that and people getting drugged. I haven't heard anything like that yet about the trials. And I'm wondering if there was like a pretty significant payoff to people that were coming forward and they took it. And now it's just like, what we're getting these days in court. It's just a
I don't know.
potentiality.
I mean, find everybody and pay them off. That's an interesting concept.
Why not? You got the money.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem possible. It would have to be something I have to look into, but there seemed like there would be far too many people. Not enough of them would actually need the money. Like how could you pay off somebody that's already fucking swimming in money? Not
Yeah.
to mention, not to mention that there would be some people that wouldn't take money and wouldn't want to be bought. So then you'd have to kill them people because now you put them onto it. So
Well, that's the thing too, is that there's the fear factor. Like a lot of people said that he had some real muscle.
that's why I don't think they paid everybody off.
Right. Well, or scared
I
them.
don't think it's plausible. You know,
I don't know.
you would who is everybody? You'd have to like get a detective and find everybody on the tapes.
No, I was saying everybody who came forward, everybody who came forward and talked to
Yeah.
somebody.
And as far as these people that are making these TikTok videos and everything, I mean, you know, it's not that I don't believe them, but it's not that I mean, I'm not going to bat for them. Would you say I wouldn't mortgage my house for a mixtape?
Oh yeah, no, right. A lot of them actually, but it's been reported like on TMZ. Like I said, like two of the stories I was referencing were on TMZ
No matter where they are.
receipts. But yeah, I just was wondering. Then
TMZ
come up later.
TMZ is one of the there's a I'm gonna get this wrong, but there's a reason that TMZ is in the tank for Diddy. And I believe that has something to do with like somebody in TMZ is married to somebody on the Diddy defense team or something weird like that.
Like are TMZ's headlines inflating anything? Oh, I'm shocked.
I don't think so, but I do think that Harvey Levin is protecting Diddy a little bit because he has a podcast with Mark Garagos, and as you know, Garagos' daughter is Diddy's head of defense attorney.
Oh, that's interesting right there.
Yeah.
Are they open about that? Like, does he talk about that on TMZ ever?
But Mark's been getting in a lot of trouble because he's on the podcast talking about Diddy's case and with Harvey Levin of TMZ, and like they've been getting a lot of backlash for it, and they're saying Mark's interfering with the trial. Like
the judge like gave Mark a warning that it's his responsibility and duty to not turn it into a circus, because he's had 6-pack of white women on the TMZ podcast, and the judge sent him a letter and was like, "You're not doing this." The whole.
So, they've got conflicts of interests all over the place. And I'm not saying that that's exactly the case, but it's something like that. If I can figure out what it is before I put this out, then I'll put it in. But yeah, there's something like that going on. So
and the shit might come up later. This is probably just like, this might just be the Cassie Diddy portion, and then later on they're gonna bring the other.
I mean, you just tend to think like if this was really a thing, it seemed like there'd be a lot more people coming out with it. It seemed like it wouldn't be like the 5 people that we know of.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Like now that I think about it, is that the freak off might be a distraction from what's going on, whatever.
And it's not that I doubt this stuff is going on, but I just, there's somehow they jujitsu'd our mind and our eyes away from what we're really supposed to be looking at.
Exactly. Yeah. Hashtag Clive.
Clive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I go open.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because we were talking about Katt Williams a little bit earlier. Now the question is, did Prince, I'm a Prince fan, did Prince warn Katt Williams about Diddy?
There's a disintegration going on that we really have to address.
That's where Katt Williams enters the picture. In several interviews, Katt said that Prince warned him personally about both Diddy and Jay Z. According to Katt, Prince had something big on them, and he wasn't just talking about legal leverage or petty rivalries. He was talking about evidence, footage, names, events, things that, if they ever got out, would destroy careers and reputations overnight. Katt never claimed to have seen the materials, but he spoke about it with a level of seriousness that didn't feel like entertainment. He described Prince as someone who knew too much and had stopped trusting anyone near the end. Katt even claimed that Prince used to record his own events, not for fun, but for protection. He wanted a record of who attended his parties, who was in the room, and who tried to pressure his guests into anything. The theory goes deeper. Some believe that Prince had uncovered a network, one where artists were being lured to private industry events, then filmed and blackmailed into silence or submission. The idea wasn't new. Jaguar Wright, Katt Williams, and even Dave Chappelle had hinted at similar setups. But Prince, with his resources, might have had more than stories. He might have had proof. And just months after pushing back against certain business proposals, including a reported attempt by Roc Nation to obtain full streaming access to his vault, Prince was found dead in an elevator at Paisley Park. Prince's death was ruled an accidental overdose. Fentanyl-laced pills were found in his home. But something didn't add up. In those final years, Prince's behavior shifted dramatically. He implemented strict new security protocols at Paisley Park and became intensely selective about his inner circle. But did any of it help?
It also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
Number his concerns extended beyond personal safety. In his final weeks, Prince had serious conversations with close associates about what he perceived as dangerous elements within the music industry. He spoke candidly about powerful figures and the consequences of challenging them. His particular focus was on controversial industry practices, including exclusive parties where young artists felt pressured to attend to advance their careers. These circumstances raise essential questions. What prompted Prince to fortify his security so drastically? What information made him so concerned about industry practices? And
what's interesting is that somebody did this whole like hour-long video, and it was I mean, I haven't heard anything else about it, so I'm gonna just assume that it was a dramatization saying at the Diddy trial that they broke the entire case open when they brought a Prince tape of his final word, like the final time that anybody had recording him speaking, and it was all about Diddy and filming everything that this video just said. Basically, it said in this dramatization of Prince.
Yeah, I saw something like that, but it just had Prince music playing in the background. There's been no Prince in the Diddy trial.
I'm assuming there hasn't been, but it's weird that this is picking up like that. I don't know. I always think there might be something to something when you see, a couple instances of the same story. And it makes me look into it more, but I don't know.
I'm not sure what you saw. I saw something going around that said something about Prince and Diddy, but it was bullshit. So
It was like an hour long like dramatization where if the narrator was
no, it
saying
was not a dramatization. A dramatization is when actors and stuff get in and
Right.
pretend that they're doing something.
well, it was the narration. The narration was a
There was
fabrication.
there was some pictures of the Diddy trial and some. Well, I mean, we're getting off topic, but whatever I saw,
It was a story. The narrator told this whole story about how someone brought in a tape from Prince and that Prince was telling everything on the tape and that people were falling out in court and like
But it
having
wasn't true.
reactions. I mean, not that I know of. I have nothing to say it was, but it's
Right.
interesting. Yeah. But
It's
that's,
not if it's not true. How's it interesting if it's
I
not
mean, we
true?
don't know if what he just said is true either. The video that you just showed is true either. I'm just saying they match.
What? Okay, they don't match. What do you mean we don't know if what he said is true? What did he say just now? That's not true.
I don't know if he beefed up his security or if he may have had video evidence and da, da, da. That's what the other
Yeah, that's
things.
what he said. We may have. He didn't say he did. He didn't say
Right, right,
Prince
right.
was, planning to get anything. If
Yeah, well,
anything, the
this is
interesting
what I was
thing
saying.
about this is the connection between Rock Nation and what's going on with Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. He's talking about Diddy and Jay Z and Rock Nation, and that's who is accused to have set up Tory Lanez allegedly. So I mean, I think that's interesting. If they got gangster behavior, they got gangster behavior.
Yeah.
You know? You know.
Yeah, I think it goes. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of those stories, but so yeah, I feel you.
Lots of what stories?
Gangsterism and the Rock Nation bad boy.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, I see how that makes the connection, but not to somebody acting like Prince was somehow part of the Diddy trial. That's just weird. All right. So next we have Caresha is the reason possibly that Puff went down. All right. So this is I thought this was Jaleel White at first. He looked like Urkel, don't he?
He was on his what they call victory lap, if you will. Just got celebrated from MTV, just got the key to New York City, changing shit to love, was doing so good. He gave people made publishing back. He was doing everything to change his reputation. But it was one thing that I think the thing that brought him down was Caresha.
What do you mean?
Nigga, hey bro,
Explain.
don't nobody piss your ex bitch off more than you turning up the next bitch. Everything he promised for Cassie, he gave to Caresha. He gave her a show. He gave her a deal. When she's performing, she ain't signed to him. That nigga showing up to her shows like this, his artist, like supporting her. And if you Cassie, you looking like, nigga, I spent 13 years with you begging you to give me that. And you giving it to this bitch. And now you making me penny pitch. Now I'm gonna sue your ass. Cause that's what a woman would do. Like this nigga, dog, you turned up. That's why it's very dangerous. Turning up the next person. Nigga, you turned up your girlfriend. And by the way, he did right by Caresha. That's what he's supposed to do. But now Cassie is like, what about me? And all the shit I endured. Dog, that's why they got a term called the starter wife. The starter wife always goes through the bullshit first. The starter wife always goes through that. When Puff was in his dark stage, he was with Cassie. Now he's in his love era, he with Caresha. Caresha got a way different experience than Cassie did. Who you think that pissed off more than anybody? The bitch that didn't get
It's a weak take to me, but
What'd you say?
I said it's a weak take to me. I feel like
It's a weak take?
yeah, I think that it invalidates the abuse that Cassie endured. Like it's just like it wasn't just because another bitch, it's because Diddy was a fucking monster to her. We saw it.
Yeah, you gotta Bill Maher did this thing where he was like you gotta leave the dude. You can't be saying that he's a monster and having texts like, I can't wait for our next freak off and stuff like that. Like some of the texts back and forth.
It's not victim shaming to expect women to have the agency to leave toxic relationships. Quite the contrary, to not expect that is infantilizing them. If Diddy walks free, it will be because his lawyers can point to an endless stream of texts from Cassie expressing what's often called enthusiastic consent to their sex life. If you're Me Tooing someone, it doesn't help your case if you texted him, "Me too." I just want it to be uncontrollable. If you want us to think you weren't always ready to freak off, don't write, I'm always ready to freak off. Or wish we could have FO'd before you left. You know, one sign you're pretty comfortable with something is when you call it by its initials, like Trump with KFC, or Johnny Depp. Or Johnny Depp with BO.
Again, I'm not assigning. Let me finish my sentence. I'm not assigning blame to nobody. I'm not saying anybody's right or anybody's wrong. But what I'm saying is that in my opinion, because she seemed a willing participant at times, it does give more credibility to what this guy just said about her being pissed off.
I think I understand the willing participant thing from a victim's mindset, and also just putting so much time into something, you want it to work out, even if everything shows you that it's not. When you're that young, it's just, what she went through is just more public, and it was on the extreme side of the abuse. So I don't know.
I don't know what she went through.
What
I know there's two sides to every story. And I'm hearing this side of the story, but
even if she only went through that ass whooping at the Intercontinental Hotel that we saw on video, even if that's the only thing that she went through, and that's
if that was the only thing that she went through, then I would not have any sympathy for her at all, because I would say, yeah, you get up and leave. You could leave.
Right, but it's not always so easy. That's the whole Stockholm syndrome extravaganza that we all know too well.
Again, I said if that was the only incident.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, if that was the only incident.
Yeah, if everything else was peachy keen, yeah, that's not really what I meant. But yeah, I'm just saying that's
what you said. So I can only go by what you said.
And I'm saying that's not what I meant, so that you're clear now. What I meant is, if that's the only incident that we saw, it is a clear indication of what she was going through. That's what I meant to say. To me.
Okay. I'm not making excuses for Diddy or anything. I'm not saying that she's equal partners or anything like that. But there are there's evidence that shouldn't be ignored. I mean, I'm not going to ignore some of the evidence and concentrate on some of the other evidence. There's I don't know. I don't know if that's it, but I mean, he's absolutely right, because I do remember Diddy had just got the key to the city with Mayor Eric Adams. I remember that. I remember he changed his name to Love. He was talking about his sexuality. He was doing the thing that you were talking about, trying to get in front of it, with him being gay and all that stuff. So, he was, he changed his name to Love. I remember all that. Yeah, all that stuff right before all this came out. So there is interesting timing there too.
Speaking of which, do you find it a little more than a little conspicuous that we don't hear from Mary J. Blige, we don't hear from Total, we haven't heard a peep from Mace, which is mind-boggling to me, because Mace literally was like that. He ran so far. He went to
I'm pretty sure Mace has a podcast.
Yes,
and he said a couple of things about it, but I'm not sure. So I don't want to say for sure, but
I feel like we would have.
I'm pretty sure I heard him speak on it, huh?
Next week, I want to put it out to the fans. I'll let the fans vote on it, unless you want to vote on it, Killer. They asking me to come to the Diddy trial. You think I should go this week?
It's up to you. I don't know your relationship.
No.
What is your relationship?
Why you gotta use relationship as a word?
I mean, that's what it is. I don't know what else you want me to say. How y'all cool or not cool? I don't know what else you want me to say.
Nah, just a few people reached out to me, asked me, was I going out? I was trying to figure out a way I could go at least a day.
Why you ain't go to the MTV Lifetime Achievement Award when he won that? Because I see his son performing all your parts on the song. Why you didn't go to
But yeah, you're right. He hasn't been. I haven't seen a lot or anything super vocal, and same with Mary J. Blige. So you're right.
I mean, think
But I
about
don't think that's weird, huh?
Well, really? Because they were such a this was their era. Like this is when they were like going
Let me
where
tell you something. When there are bullets flying, you do not stick your head up.
no, I hear you. I hear you. But Mace, I would think okay, so this is my thought on the Mace situation is I would think that he would speak on it because he got out and he got so far out that he became a preacher. Like he was like, I'm going to God. This shit is like it just looks so like, like he saw
Yeah,
what he
it was
saw.
fun watching him comment on Puff's gospel album, saying so like, yeah.
We don't
But
serve the same God,
but
bro.
again, him being a religious man, I mean, you don't jump out and kick somebody when they're down.
Yeah, but he's like he's an interesting kind of religious dude because I've heard him say some, I don't know. And he's also there's questionable shit like, niggas ain't worthy to rock his jersey. Why would niggas rock your jersey? I don't understand. I don't know. Their lyrics are funny.
What if I told you that
Diddy is I'm sorry, is Jay Z the reason that Diddy went down? Here's another take on that.
What if I told you that Jay Z might have more to do with Diddy's arrest than people may think? See, when you go back to the 90s, there's two people that has benefited every time someone was removed from the hip-hop game: Diddy and Jay Z. Let's start with Biggie and Tupac. Throughout the early 90s, these two were known as the top two in the rap game. Jay Z was always considered third behind them, still is. But in order to get his proper shine, those two had to be taken out the way, because if not, with Biggie being from New York and Pac all in movies, Jay Z would have always been in their shadows. In comes Diddy. See, when you thought of Bad Boy back then, you thought of Biggie. Diddy was just the dancing dude in everybody's videos. So in order for you to change that narrative, you have to remove Biggie. And then on top of that, you got Pac over here making it harder for you. So now you have two people with the exact same two problems. Remove those two problems, and those two people move to the forefront, or so they thought. In comes DMX, sort of like a mix of Big and Pac. Had that New York style lyrics like Big, but aggressive like Pac. He got platinum albums, he doing movies. Even Jay told the story about performing with DMX. The man was a problem that they didn't expect. You had to get him out the way. But by the time that actually took place, in comes 50 Cent. And we all know how much of a problem 50 was for every damn body. The only thing you could do with 50 back then was just ride the wave and let it die down. But it actually did. So now you once again have a window of opportunity to jump back on top. What does Jay do? The retiring, unretiring thing like Jordan. Diddy was out there making bands, came with that group trying to remake Destiny's Child. But then they had another problem. See, by now, the South has started its run. T.I. was on top for a minute. Luda had a run. Nelly, hell, even Lil Jon had everybody crunk. Then Lil Wayne came with the Carters, and rap was never the same again, because the music started to change. If you didn't come with a dance that went with your song, you might as well just saved it at that time. Then Young Money happened. So again, that window was missed. Fast forward to now, and you have two people that know the exact details of every incident that happened. One might have realized, I better get him before he get me. Because if you noticed, when Diddy named all those names, he never named Jay Z. But what if this whole time is Jay behind all this going on with Diddy, thinking since that time is officially passed, he better get to him first. Because where is Jay Z now? He's completely disappeared. Leave a comment and give me your thoughts. You think Jay could be behind it along with that liquor company? Like this video and follow me for more content.
I don't know.
Again, so much speculation. Nobody knows any of this stuff. So much speculation, but it is thing, and that is how it works in those circles, right?
It is, but I don't think that it's rap related. Like if there's
You don't think it's because he wanted to be on top? You think
no,
it's something
I think
else?
rap would be just like a really shallow reason to do all of that. I think it's something else that they got going on, maybe together, and something that has to maybe do with that liquor. But it's all conjecture. But that would be a strange like ego. The dude is like hella old. Like I just don't even know that he's still trying to be the top rapper. I think that there's something else though.
Jay Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to be the top rapper, I guess. I mean,
Mm-mm.
yeah, Jay Z, Eminem, yeah, of
I don't
course.
know. I think that Jay Z
I
has
mean,
some.
I don't know if, okay, let me rephrase that. It's not a thing where you're trying to be the top rapper, but you still got flow and you're still dope and you still got, you
I
still do
mean,
your
he
thing.
can still rap, but I don't think that he's taking people out for that. I think there's probably other shit going on that people know and
But
have
it
seen.
is interesting his career trajectory with the
Also,
absence of those people. That's
yeah,
very
but he also
interesting.
his timeline was off too. Like the DMX thing, he put DMX to death way before Southern rap and stuff coming out. The thing is, he's
I don't think he did, but okay.
yeah, he did. He put DMX way at the beginning of the clip. But that's my I just wanted to mention that it's interesting how Leah Cohen was the last person to see DMX alive. There's little connections all over the place with that dude.
Like,
Like the tall Israeli that runs the industry, and that's a Mos Def quote. Wait, was it Mos Def? I believe so, yes. But I mean, we've talked about it kind of extensively. I don't have it all at the top of my head, but like Lear Cohen is very close to, I mean, he used to be partners with Jay Z. He was partners in Def Jam. He started it with them. There was
yeah, I don't know the connections that, I mean, I know who he is. I've heard his name around and I've heard some stories about him, but I'm not, the connections aren't super fresh in my head. So when you brought it up, I was like, what are you talking about?
it's
But don't worry about it.
Megan Thee
Don't worry about it.
Stallion.
Don't worry
Megan Thee
about it.
Stallion was signed
People,
to
if you
Dior.
want to, what'd you say?
Megan Thee Stallion was signed to Lior,
Okay,
and
yeah.
in partnership with Roc Nation.
Again, this is yeah. Just don't worry about it. Don't rack your brain because like if people want to go ahead and go down these rabbit holes, they're free to go down them on their own time or whatever. We were just
Yeah,
talking a little bit about some of the Diddy adjacent stuff, So interesting stories that I saw going around.
See, the cat just fell asleep, and we could have just 28.8 million people like to see that happening. That's so funny. He fell asleep.
All right, Leah.
Yeah.
All right, holla.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to you tomorrow. Y'all.